Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Over the past couple days I've been getting into the game Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel and it's been a rather pleasant experience. My familiarity with the Yu-Gi-Oh series dates back to a couple years ago now, where I was playing the actual physical trading card game for a bit. Not anything too serious, mostly just playing at a local card store and with my friends. And it was mainly just from the familiarization I had with the show from back in the day that made me aware of the series to begin with. But I ended up falling out of it. Collecting cards in real life was not only expensive, but tedious, because sometimes the ones you're looking for would be hard to find, or they're only in certain regions. And then when you would play it, depending on your opponent, some people could be really socially weird in how they interact with other humans, and it could make it a little bit uncomfortable. And on top of that, obviously, I just had other things to do, so I stopped playing the game. But what I would occasionally do is try and play one of the online emulators, and they are really good. They let you play basically whatever cards you want with whoever you want, but at the same time, they have their limitations. Obviously, they're not official, so depending on how you feel about that, you may not want to play them. But also, everyone gets all the cards all the time, so if there's a really powerful and annoying strategy, basically everybody is going to be using that powerful and annoying strategy. It also is not fully automated, which means that rulings and are you allowed to do that can be really up to the two people playing, so there can be a lot of disagreements on what was actually allowed to happen and if you did what the card said you did correctly. But this game, Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel, is official, which means that the rulings it's got baked in are, for one, automatic, and secondly, you can't dispute them. You have to accept the rules as given because it's actually done by the company in charge, which is a very nice change when you don't want to have a bunch of your time wasted with arguments over if you did the right thing. That's a very specific reason as to why I've been enjoying this game. There are far more general reasons that can apply to just about anyone. If you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh for whatever reason and just aren't really into playing it, or maybe even if you are playing the normal game, there's still reasons to look towards Master Duel. All the cards are digital, they're fake, they're not real, and because of that, they all have a set value. They can either be common, rare, super rare, or ultra rare, and the only real thing that rarity means is how much in-game resources are required to acquire one of those cards. And that, like I said, these are static, they don't shift, so the price is the price. Now, this is a free-to-play game, so you don't have to spend any money at all, and unlike a lot of other free-to-play games out there, you really can just play this game without spending any money and create whatever decks you want with just a small amount of time. Your first deck would probably only take you 6 hours to fully create without spending any money, and every deck after that is going to get longer and longer as you have less ways of gathering the resources quickly. But the point is, you are more than welcome to play it free to play, and that is how I play it. I've not spent any money on it, and I've been able to build the deck I wanted to build and tweak with it and add things over time, and I'm even stockpiling resources now for whenever I get a new idea or a new card comes out, I can just see if I can get what I want straight away. As such, if you're someone who just likes creating cards and opening booster packs, but you don't want to spend real money on that, you could just get this game, use all the free resources you get over time and at the start, and just open the booster packs and make your collection as great as you want it to be. I had fun just opening packs at the start of the game. It felt like doing it in real life, except I wasn't losing anything for it, so no downside if you ask me. But also, you're able to fight against opponents in the ranked mode, and what's great about this ranked mode is it's split into different categories like bronze and gold, and you'll only match up against people in your category, or at least that's how it seemed for me, which means that you're only really put against people at your skill level, so you're able to progress or go down and remain in a spot where you feasibly belong, and where matches will not always be this complete unwinnable scenario, which was another downside of the previous emulations, where since they usually lacked a proper ranked system, you could go up against somebody that plays the game 24/7 with the most optimized deck, and you're just running around with Blue Eyes White Dragon because you wanted to have fun. In this game, you can actually stick around people where you have a chance of winning thanks to its ranked modes, and by progressing the ranked modes, you're going to earn resources to help build your deck further. And with deck building as well, when you've got cards that you don't want, you can destroy them to get resources for the rarity that card was, which obviously you can then use those resources to get this specific one you want, bypassing the RNG of drawing it from a booster pack. So yet again, that's another way you can avoid money, whereas in real Yu-Gi-Oh, if you wanted a specific card, it will usually cost a lot more than the boosters, because the boosters are random chance, this card is guaranteed, so they can hike the price up if it's a very coveted card. In this one, if a card is not really coveted, or it is, it's always the same set price based on its rarity. It does not shift, and that is a huge plus. Even if you've never played Yu-Gi-Oh before and you want to get into it, this game has a solo mode with an extensive collection of tutorials that can teach you about basically every minute aspect of the game and do it visually, showing you and then letting you play through with instructions. So it's a very thorough experience, and even as myself, someone who was returning to the game, some of them, for the features I may have forgotten about or new, were handy. Obviously, you're probably not going to play them all if you know what you're doing already, but the point is, it offers that for new players. But the solo mode also gives you story scenarios you can play through with themed decks, with pretext behind them against specific opponents that will use certain strategies, which is another plus over previous emulations, official or not, because a lot of the time their solo modes would either have no real option or a single deck that doesn't change, whereas in this game you can do the solo scenarios either with the deck it gives you, or you can go over them with your own deck to test it against opponents with a variety of strategies and cards. And if you don't even like playing online, then this is even better for you, because you have a collection of opponents that you can just play with your deck offline. So if you want to do your Exodia win the duel strategy, feel free to do it against the AI. Furthermore, there are a bunch of aspects I think are pro-player in Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel, which is really surprising considering how the real Yu-Gi-Oh game doesn't feel like pro-player, because they will do a bunch of bundles of boosters where you get the same amount as always, but for a lower resource cost and with a guaranteed ultra rare card thrown in. There's about 5 of them right now, and they occasionally add more. Same for the story solo stuff, they will add more of those periodically, and on top of giving you something to do in single player, they also award you with resources for cards, as well as some more cosmetic things like a profile icon or the arena that you fight in, all that sort of stuff. Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel, with its excellent free-to-play model, does have the Battle Pass model as well, where as you level it up you get rewards. It's got a free and a premium one though, and the free one goes up for quite a bit, so you can play the game and earn stuff. But the premium uses the same resource currency everything else in the game does, which means you can just use the resources you didn't spend money on to get the premium pass. And the best bit is, if you finish the premium pass, it refunds all of the resources used to get it. So as someone who doesn't spend any money on a game like myself, I've gotten the premium pass and I'm very close to finishing it, which means that what I put into it I've gotten back, plus all the other resources it rewards you, which I think is the best way to do the Battle Pass system, where if you want to pay for it and you don't want to spend any time on it, you can, but if you will just play the game, you also have the option of getting it for free. I think that's the best model, and I'm glad that Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel does it. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a new game, or you've been curious about Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, or even if you stepped away from it for some of the problems I mentioned in this video, I highly recommend you actually just try out Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel. It's free, there's a lot to do, and you can uninstall it any time. There's no financial investment unless you want there to be. That was all I had to say on this topic though, so I'd like to thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. And if you liked it and want to see more of this type of content, please let me know in the comments below. Subscribing and sharing this video will also help promote it to other people so that the conversation around this topic may grow. That said, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time. This is the Mighty Emperor signing off.